Good morning, brothers and sisters. So I'm just gonna jump right into it. A couple of days ago, I shared with you that I received a word saying 17 days. This was on the 6th of October, and when I counted 17 days, it landed between these days, 22nd and 23rd. That was 17 days, and the Bible says, surprisingly says, something about these days, the 17th day. Remember, on this day, this was a full moon. So I suppose that it was the first day of the 7th month. Yeah, because of the super moon, I just assumed. We're not sure, but we can say that it was the first day of the 7th month. So the 17th day, surprisingly, something was said in the Bible regarding the 17th day of the 7th month, which is found in Genesis 8, verse 4. This is in the days of Noah, brothers and sisters. So it says, on the 17th day of the 7th month, the boat came to rest on mountain in the Ararat range. So on my previous video, I was like, what if the Lord is saying that we will reach our promised land on the 17th day of the 7th month, which lands us to the 22nd, the 23rd of October. And brother Joshua came out to say that 16th, 17th, the Lord said he will come to rapture the church. But brothers and sisters, as we know, nothing happened on these days. But did really nothing happen? I believe that the ark was closing between these days. Why do I say that, brothers and sisters? I say this because if you can count days from these days to these days, it's 7 days. And we know that the floods came 7 days later. You can find this information in the book of Genesis, chapter 7, verse 8 to 9. And it reads, a male and a female of every kind of animal and bird, whether ritually clean or unclean, went into the boat with Noah, as God had commanded. 7 days later, the flood came. 7 days later, the flood came. So what if on these days the ark was closing? Remember, it will be like in the days of Noah. So what if on these days, the 17th day, on these days, 16, 17, that the brother came out with from the Lord, what if it was the closing of the ark? And surprisingly, on these days, it will be a new moon. The moon phase on these days is new. It's a new moon. So we also have to consider what the Bible says on in the book of Psalm 81, I believe. Yeah, I think I wrote. Yeah, Psalm 81 verse 3. It says, blow a trumpet on a full moon and on a new moon. So on these days there will be a new moon. The other part is that with the 7 days, we can also reference it with 1 Kings 18 verse 43 to 44. 43 to 44, it reads, he said to his servant, this is Elijah, he said to his servant, go and look towards the sea. The servant went and returned, saying, I don't see anything. 7 times in all Elijah told him to go and look. The 7th time he returned and said, I saw a little cloud, no bigger than a man's head, coming up from the sea. Right? So this is the 7th time. But then he said, what did Elijah say before the cloud appeared? He said, I hear the roar of rain approaching. So we can see that there is a significance with the number 7 with regards to the flood. Well, rain, right? So we know, brothers and sisters, that nothing happens before it can happen in the spirit. So what if the 16th and the 17th, something happened? It's just that we don't see it. It hasn't manifested yet in the physical, and that we have to wait 7 days, which is on a new moon. Remember, I was given the 17 days. I didn't come up with the 17 days. The 17 days, I believe the Lord gave me, and it makes sense when you read Genesis 8 verse 4. On the 17th day of the 7th month, the boat arrived at its destiny. So what if it will be the same with us? Maybe the Lord will appear between these days. I don't know. This is just how I'm analyzing it. But yeah, I don't know. Tell me what you think. And yeah.